Hello and welcome everybody. Lionheart here with a first off of my channel. We're looking at Guild Wars 2. It's launched on the 28th of August, not 3 days ago, and the reason perhaps for, well, the main reason in fact for my delay in getting my regular schedule of videos up is in fact Guild Wars 2. It is thoroughly addictive. I'm just showing the various races here that you can choose from. I'm just going to go through creating a character for the first time and the first sort of mission level. I've chosen to go as a human, and a male human at that. And going through the classes, I kind of already came into the game knowing what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a warrior, mainly because in the first Guild Wars game, that was the first character I ever created, a warrior class, and I wanted to do the same in Guild Wars 2. For those of you that don't know what Guild Wars 2 is, it's a sequel to the, well, award-winning and acclaimed MMO Guild Wars, which I think was released back in, well, the last expansion for it was Eye of the North, but I think it's been since quite some time. In fact, I'm going to check the boxes that I've got in my room very quickly while we're just going through adjusting the character. Oh, dropping stuff. Let's take a look. When does this say? It was 2006, it was copyrighted here, so I seem to remember something about 2006, 2005, 2006 it came out, the original. Anyone that can correct me on that, well done to you guys. I'm just choosing my kind of character's physique. A lot of customization you can have with your character, make them look as ridiculous or as awesome as possible. So yeah, this is this game's been in development for about 5 years though, the sequel. And for those of you that are thinking, oh, how is this any different from things like World of Warcraft? Well, the graphics are, obviously the style's completely different. One of the main contributing factors to why I love Guild Wars over World of Warcraft, now I have tried World of Warcraft, tried quite a few trials, and I've had a few friends that have had sort of subscription accounts, and they've shown me their high levels, and I've dabbled around that. And I've played a few other MMOs like Lord of the Rings Online, which I never got around to actually recording any videos for on my channel, but Guild Wars 2 is what I'd like to take forward as kind of my MMO feature. And as I was saying, the reason why I prefer Guild Wars 2, not just because of the awesome combat, the graphics, the skills, the whole kind of layout of the game, is the fact that there is no subscription base for this game. And then some of you are probably thinking, oh, so it's a free-to-play model. Well, no, it's not. You still pay for you still buy the game. I got mine for around about £34, although I had a £15 gift voucher to use up. So, in actual fact, this cost me about £19. So, the bargain for me. But you pay a one-off fee to buy the game as you would any other normal game, and that is it. There are, of course, a few in-game transactions. Guild Wars 2 introduces the introduces that feature in. By creating these things called gems, and you can basically spend your money, real world money obviously, to buy more gems, or what I like is that you can in fact use the in-game currency, gold, silver and bronze. If you've got enough of it, you can convert it into gems. What Guild Wars and what the dev team have said from the very get-go is that they're adding microtransactions in there for players that are used to kind of microtransactions in MMOs before, but they're also obviously got the exchange currency between in-game money and real world sort of usable money in the form of gems for those players that want to just run around and gain all the money that way, but so that they're not forcing you to ever put any more money into the game than you want to. If you want to save up your in-game money and then convert it to gems, you can. So you never actually have to spend any more money in-game than buying the game itself. So that's how they kind of, you can still have microtransactions if you want, but if you still want to buy stuff from the gem store, you can just do it by saving up your well-earned in-game currency. Obviously it will take a lot longer to save up those gems, because you'll need a hefty amount of currency to do it, but that option is there, which is what I like. And another thing I like about the dev team Guild Wars 2, in fact this morning they have said that they're shutting down for the moment the sale of digital copies of the game on their main website. Obviously other retailers will still be able to sell it, but what they're doing that because they want to assess how the servers are coping now that they're getting a huge amount of concurrent users on at the same time. They were saying that during the pre-launch period, there was a 3-day head start period for people that had pre-purchased the game. They had 400,000 users on at the same time, at sort of peak times. So that was pretty impressive. So apparently they've reached their peak concurrent users that they wanted to have post-launch now. So they're shutting down the sale of digital copies on their main Guild Wars 2 website. Obviously you can still buy it from other retailers, shops and what have you, it will still work. But they're doing this so that they can assess their servers and then adapt the infrastructure as they need. They already added a few more worlds the other day for German language speakers and French speakers, because those the worlds that are available to those had already filled up. So they are a good dev team. In fact, the reason why I like the fact that they've stopped selling is that it shows that to a degree they're not bothered by, they're not just fueled by gaining more money and looking at the profit. They're actually looking at improving their game so it works, because there are companies, game companies and publishers out there that will just keep on selling if their infrastructure cannot cope with it anyway, and then they'll try and patch it later. The AreaNet team, the team behind Guild Wars 2, are stopping the sales on their site so that they can work on the infrastructure, which I think is very commendable. You don't see many devs giving that level of commitment, players over profit these days. So as you can see, I'm just customizing the dyes on my armor. I mean, this video, to start with, the first half is just me basically talking about why I love Guild Wars so much, and just some basic features of it. But I do show the first kind of main mission with my character in a few minutes time, but just wanted to talk about Guild Wars, give a brief introduction, and I'm leaving it. I'd like to know what you guys want to see from me doing Guild Wars. Guild Wars will ideally be a weekend upload, and obviously I won't be kind of just recording this character. I mean, it's not like I won't be playing with this character, as it were, when I'm not recording. So each recording there will be kind of a gap of a few levels that I've gained in between, or I've done some new quests, or I've been in a new area. But I'd like to know what you guys want to do. Do you want to see me just doing some random quests, things like that, some cool instances, showing off some kills, things like that, maybe a difficult area where I've been killed a few times and I managed to triumph through it, or something like that. Me meeting up with a few friends and going sort of questing together in the game. Although I will talk about the questing system in Guild Wars 2 in a moment. It is a bit different than your traditional MMO. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see me do in Guild Wars. Also, if you would like to join me in Guild Wars when I'm not recording or whatever, and just have a mess about, then do let me know. I'm on the Gunner's Hold server, and those of you who are saying, oh, please transfer to another one, I'm afraid I will be staying on Gunner's Hold, because that's where my brother and a few of my mates from home are on. So that is our server, Gunner's Hold. If you can get on there, that would be awesome. You guys know me on, you can add me on Steam via the Steam group that I've got. Link to that is in the description, or you can just message here, leave your Guild Wars 2 name, and I will add it once I'm in game. And if you want, you can join the guild that I'm part of. It's called 0 Hour. It's a little kind of guild and gaming community that me and my brother have had for quite some time. You occasionally see me with the old 0 tags on in some games. That's 0 Hour. So that's the clan we got set up. I'm just going through being very tedious and choosing all the different dyes here, swiveling my dude round. Look at those awesome boots. And also let me know in the comments below what character you're going for, what profession, things like that, and what weapons you're using as well. I think I'll start off with a sword in this. I'll probably get a shield as well later on, but I want to get onto a great sword because you can just do a ton of damage with those things, and there's a lot of area of effect damage you can do there. Now I'll briefly talk about the quest system while you're watching me choose my my traits and paths here. This will directly affect kind of my main quest story in the game. And talking about about quests, there is really only one quest that will ever stay in your quest log, as it were, and that is your main story quest, which is affected by some of the choices I'm making at the moment, and you'll see me doing on screen. It varies slightly depending on the choices you make, so you can have a bit of a unique story each time, so you can create several characters and have a slight variation on the quest you're doing. But the main way you do, there are still quests as it were in game, but they're done through kind of dynamic instances within the game. So you're just running along and you'll see it's donated by a heart shape in the game, and if it's an empty heart, so if it's filled in with black in the middle, it means there's kind of a quest opportunity there as such. But when you get there, you'll instantly get on the right hand side of your screen something pop up, and it will say help this person kill all the ravaging virums that are attacking their field, or something like that, or water the crops. And you'll have a little progress bar there, and you have to do it quite a few times, and there'll be other players doing it with you, so it's kind of a dynamic real-time questing system that they've got in here. But the quest will never actually drop into your log, so it means you can, if you don't want to finish the quest right now, you can wander off to another area. When you come back to that area, when you're in range of the quest, as it were, or the instance, it will start. Now there are kind of standard instances as well, which you'll be running across, and suddenly this big cave troll boss will come out, and that'll be an instance which you can jump into with other players, and you'll be able to watch this troll ransack a village, and you'll have to try and take it down. But more will be explained on that as I progress with future episodes. But I've chosen my name, Lionheart Blade. Lionheart X was taken, and you can't have numbers at the moment in your title.
The human race once ruled Tyria.
So I will let you guys enjoy this little intro for a moment.
Now, we struggle to hold our ground. We've been defeated, driven back, broken, but we will not surrender. So many nations have fallen. Only Kryta still stands. Our faith is strong despite the silence of the six gods. With courage, we'll make our stand in Divinity's reach. The city is my home. I was born into luxury, a noble of Divinity's reach, and privilege comes with responsibility. I protect the commoners under my care. They believe in me. I'm grateful for their trust, and I will not let them down. Today I plan to venture beyond the gates of the city and see the world for myself. But when I arrived in Shamor, I found the town under siege by centaurs. Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help. I will show the people that we can triumph, that there is still hope. This is my story.
Bum bum bum, the story of Lionheart Blade. So yeah, I was just saying about the whole username thing, because I couldn't have numbers in there. I reverted to an old system that I had in the original Guild Wars, which was basically naming my character Lionheart, and the second name denoting kind of a profession or weapon that they were using as such. So I had my archer in the original Guild Wars was called Lion Bow, or Lionheart Bow, or something like that. So, and my thief, I've actually got a thief in this game as well, who's a higher level than my warrior, but my thief is called Lionheart Shadow. So yeah, you can tell I'm awesome. Anyway, here we go. I'm just checking the settings here, and just changing the sound, because initially on launch day there was a little bug with the sound, but it seems to be fixed straight away now, which is good. There have been a lot of fixes and updates with Guild Wars already. There is an infamous error 42, which actually has its own Facebook page now. And error 42 basically would come up after they'd done an update, and it would basically knock all the EU players off their servers, so you wouldn't be able to log back in. Hopefully they've been able to update now without that happening. Well, I've been playing this morning, all good and fine, so no problem there. But yeah, no, I'm very impressed. They are patching a lot of issues. They are very unrelenting about hackers and what have you. This morning there was a massive exploit with some of the higher level armor sets. Their prices for some reason glitched or whatever, and their price dropped dramatically, so people would just spam buying them and trying to sell them on or break them down for crafting material. I'm just showing off my awesome hair. Yeah, I'm awesome. Look at my shoulder pauldrons. But the Guild Wars team have acted very swiftly with it. They've given out, I think they said 3,000 permanent bans to accounts that were exploiting it massively, and then there are 1,000 other accounts which they've given 72-hour bans. However, since then, they've had the lead producer come on and produce a post on the main Guild Wars site and Reddit, stating that they will give players a one-time chance to sort of get back into the game, those of them that were using this exploit. Though everyone that was given a permanent ban has now been, or they can now apply to have their permanent ban changed to a 72-hour ban, then they'll be allowed back in game, and they are required then to delete all of the stuff that they bought. And if they try salvaging it into craft materials, they need to delete all of that as well. They also need to remove all the money that they gained from it if they didn't exploit it. I'm just showing the main map here. So there's Ascalon over there, a main feature from the first game, the Crystal Desert, where you kind of did quite a lot of endgame questing over there. Ruins of Ore. We'll be going all of that in another feature. I'll be doing kind of the map of Guild Wars 2, and I'll also be doing kind of some back history if people will be interested in, kind of lore to it all, so you kind of know what the setting is. But basically there's some big old Elder Dragons about. Woohoo! It's the year of the dragon this year, Skyrim and all that. Well, Skyrim was last year, but you know what I mean. So, dragons seem to be popular this year as the main quest feature. But yes, no,
get to the inn. We can protect you at the end.
The main producer has
everybody get to the end.
come on and said this is kind of like a first and final warning for everyone that was using the exploit. They're giving them one chance to kind of get back into the game, because obviously you think if you use that exploit and you've just bought the game and you're permanently banned, that does suck massively. That is your account gone. I guess you'd have to sign up, buy a new game and get a new code and sign up again if you wanted to play, which could be an expensive habit if you're into using exploits. So they're basically taking a zero tolerance stance, but they're giving kind of a final chance to people and making it very clear what their stance is, which I think is a good thing. I mean, because with an MMO, it's an online game, there's no single player whatsoever. You completely rely on interaction with other players, so if some other players are ruining the game by using exploits and hacks and bots, then really, yeah, I fully stand behind their decision. Get them out of the game because they're ruining it for other people.
Sergeant, there are more centaurs on the other side of town.
Because I
Captain
think
Thackeray's calling for reinforcements at the garrison.
If he's calling for help, it must
when
be
you're in
serious.
such a persistent world,
I can't spare anyone.
Other people ruining it can ruin your game experience completely. It's not like
Captain
where
Thackeray's
you can just
never failed Divinity's
reload
reach.
a level or something like
If
that.
I can help him,
the exploit's
I will.
gone or whatever.
Balthazar, bless you. That's the spirit that'll win this war.
So yeah, I stand behind that. Anyway, we're going to look at the combat now and the story itself. So we've arrived at the village of Shamor and it's under attack by centaurs. I've just talked to the local captain at the inn and they've told me to head over to the fort to help with the defense of Shamor. So I'm just looking at my character now. You can see my stats and things I've got equipped. Got my sword.
I'm sure he's all right.
And all the other NPCs sort of interact within certain situations, so you'll hear them talking. Some of them are quite rude, in fact. There's one over by an apple orchard, which I might show in a future part, who this woman talking about her love of apple pies, and he's just like, I really don't care about that. So, I mean, they can be quite rude. So I just head down here to where there's some trading posts and trainers, but I decided I'd rather head straight to the fort, so I head up here. There's a centaur here, so I do my first attack. Now, attacks, you can move while you're attacking, and you have to be close enough, obviously, to do damage. It isn't like the original Guild Wars where you locked on, basically, and your character wouldn't attack unless you were in range. For melee attacks, anyway. Oh, excuse me, a building. Oh dear. So, and you can jump over things. There's a lot of control over your character itself. You can sort of dodge away and roll from attacks. So it's kind of built on what other MMOs have developed in the last few years of this kind of more control directly over your character and how that your character interacts with the whole attack and combat system. But this is incredibly different compared to the first Guild Wars, those of you that played it. So for those of us that did play the first Guild Wars, this is quite a different experience. Even though I've played other MMOs like Lord of the Rings Online, which uses a similar combat system, this is still quite a different experience. Notably the whole questing system that they've chosen to go for. And at first some players were saying they didn't know how to gain experience, how to level up, because they couldn't find any quests. And that's because they didn't understand the whole dynamic event system, and that you literally you'll fall into quests. You'll be walking along and there'll be a farmer by his farm needing help, and that is your quest. You go in and you help them, and various instances have sort of 3 or 4 levels. Like there'll be once you complete this first level, in fact, you kind of roll forward by a few days in time, and then the map stays dynamic and stays persistent the whole time. So that there's various instances with this fort that I'm about to go towards, that you have one of the kind of quest lines is that you have to defend the fort, then you have to sally out and destroy the catapults, and then you have to go out and drive the centaurs back. But at any point, if the centaurs' catapults aren't destroyed, then they'll launch an attack on your fort again. You'll have to defend the fort. So it's quite dynamic in it reacts to how well you're doing or how badly you're doing. So here I'm just mowing down some centaurs. As I'm going, I'm unlocking some more skills. I've currently got, I believe, my standard. Your first attack normally is a attack of 3. Centaurs coming down the bridge. But what I mean by attack of 3 is that it's kind of a chained attack. So the first one is something like Sever Artery, the second one is Gash, and the third one is Final Thrust. And with the sword, it's all about the main attribute is causing lots of bleeding damage. So even though you're not doing massive amounts of damage, per se, you're still doing a reasonable amount, you're actually causing a lot of bleeding to go on. So even if the centaur tries to run away, it will still be bleeding and taking damage. And then you have the leap attack, which from a distance allows you to do a dynamic leap in and a sword thrust. And we'll also be learning sweeping blow, I think it is, or something like that. I can't remember, but that basically slows down your opponent so you could strike them. And as you can see, the first 3 skills are literally directly tied to whatever weapon you have in your hand. They will change to whatever weapon you've got in your hand. I don't have anything equipped in my second hand at the moment. You can dual wield if you want. But if I had a shield, then I'd get other skills called Shield Bash and Shield Stance, which I have to unlock. If I had another sword, I could dual wield swords, I'd get Throw Sword, or Impale I believe it is, and Repose. You can get two-handed great swords as well, hammers, maces. There are, especially for the warrior, a huge pool of weapons. So now this is the second stage of this dynamic event, where these centaurs are now attacking the fort. We were holding them off till the gate opened. We're now attacking them here, and this will take us on to the first boss fight of the game. And everyone that starts the game as a human will be going through this quest line, this initial starting point, and then you will branch off according to the various choices you made. So all those choices you made when you're creating your character will have an effect now on your main story, which is the main quest line.
Anything to report?
It's kind of the story mode or quest mode or whatever, main story mode that you have in other MMOs. And I will go over the questing system in another video, because probably me explaining it, not the best explanation. So I'm just chilling back here, decided to dive in.
Anything to report?
At first I wasn't that great at getting in range to use my attacks, but now I'm good.
Enough of this.
Now we have kind of a little mini boss. They're kind of their leader, their chieftain.
You think you can defeat me?
So we're now chasing him out of the fortress, sallying out, and get ready. Bada boom! That's what she said. Sorry, but that was just asking for it. So now we have this big boss, and we have to attack his little minions. Also, what I should say, with the whole dynamic events, instances and what have you, there is a lot of level scaling and kind of scaling within the game. So if it was just me on my own, there would not be as many little elementals appearing. It would just be maybe one or two. But because there's quite a few of us all doing this, there are going to be a lot of elementals spawning. The attacks will, like area effect attacks, perhaps happen more often to knock us back. But when there's like big raids or something like that going on, where there's loads of bandits attacking, if it's just me on my own, there might be like 5 bandits. If there were 10 of us, there might be 20, 30 bandits coming and attacking us. So it scales up really nicely, depending on the number of players taking part in an event, which I really, really like. It's really good fun. So we're trying to kill this big old earth hand in the ground here. About to take it down, and this is where I'm going to leave you guys. So please do let me know what you think of Guild Wars 2 if you've got it, what you're playing as. Put your name down, I'll add you. I'm playing on Gunner's Hold. Please do remember to comment, rate, subscribe, thumb on this video, like. Let me know what you'd like to see in future Guild Wars 2 parts. As always, hope you've enjoyed. Ciao for now, guys. Bada boom.